Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Mastermind. This is Paul Baxter. I am your host with the most. What movie is that from? Does anybody remember what movie that was from? It's your hostess with the mostest. Is that Beetlejuice? Am I on page with that being Beetlejuice? Anyway, we're here today to talk about emailing and how to write emails with a purpose. And I'm gonna go into some very specifics on how to actually tie in what we learned yesterday, which is all about how to create communications that brand you as different, that give you a chance to be on a pedestal, to let people get to know and trust you with some very basic video marketing. And we're going to send that video out. We're going to write good subject lines. We're going to put together good emails today. And so let's go ahead and dive right in on what that looks like. So what we're going to learn today is how to create an email that has a purpose. We're going to do it by creating a great outline first that will make it super easy for us to write great emails. And then we're going to talk about how to make them click on your video when you put it in there. So the first thing you've got to do is wrap your head around the mindset of emailing or the mindset of this specific strategy. The reality is that good email writing is a skill that is developed. It is not something that you're going to flick a light switch and poof, it works for you. There are no overnight success stories. Consistency is the absolute rule when it comes to good, effective email marketing. It's like playing golf or fishing. The first time you got on the golf course and hit a golf ball, it probably didn't go in the direction you wanted it to, and you probably weren't very close to par in your score. You probably didn't catch many fish the first couple of times out, but as you went more and more, it became easier and easier, and now it can become just something that is automatic to you. Something that is automatic. It becomes much easier the more and more that you do it. You start to see what affects the overall outcome, and you move towards those things that are affecting it. So here's a little trick, and I know a lot of you, as a matter of fact, everybody on this call, I know for a fact, gets multiple emails from multiple vendors all around. When you see a good email that makes you want to take action or to do whatever that action step is, take note of it. What did the subject line look like? How did the body look? Was it all just one big paragraph? Was it broken up? Was it thin? Was it wide? Was there a PS to it? Were there any images in it? Take note of the aspects of that email. Shoot, you could even go as far as copying the entire text of the email and then just replace your keywords in it if it was that strong of an email. But take note of those good emails that make you take action and mimic them. Look at what's being said. Where is the call to action versus the rest of the body? How is the greeting pulling me into it? And mimic those things. That's the easiest way to get started with going with email. So what you want to do when you're first creating that outline I mentioned is you're going to write down what your actual purpose is behind your email. Like, what is the goal? Is it to, for some of you, like, my Peggies of the world, is it to get 10 real estate agents to meet with you over the next 10 weeks or 2 weeks? Is that what the goal? Is it to get 4 out? Are you sending an email to your past client database? And the goal for there is to get at least, you want to get at least 3 or you want to get at least 4 applications on this email. Have that goal in mind. Or is the goal to simply get them to view your video? Whatever the goal is, you need to write it down. That's how you're going to structure your outline. The rest of your outline is going to be basically answering the 5 golden questions. So put yourself in the place of the person receiving the email and pretend that you are sending yourself an email and you're going to ask yourself these 5 questions. Who are you? Well, I'm Paul Baxter. What do you want? Well, I want you to watch my video because that's going to help me build my brand. Why should you care? Because there's a great tip on there on getting more listings. What's in it for me? Well, if you implement what's in that tip, you're going to get more listings. That's what's in it for you. What do I do now? Well, you're going to give me a call or email me to learn more. or set up an appointment with me, whatever my goal to that is. So ask yourself those questions so that you're making sure, and if you notice, it kind of goes back to what the elements of your video are. Who are you? Why does it benefit me to know you? And how do I take advantage of that benefit? Same type of questions here. Speak to the person that you're sending, or the reader in this case. Answer the question of who you are. What do you want? Well, I want you to watch my video. Why should I care? Because there's a great tip on getting more listings in there. What's in it for me? Well, if you implement that great tip, you're going to get more listings. Okay, what do I do now? You're going to give me a call or email me to get more information. The biggest part, well, there are two main parts. Your subject line is probably the single most important part of your entire email. Realistically, it really is, because that's the thing that gets the email opened. The only function of the subject line is to get the email opened. The subject line is not intended to give a small amount of information of what's inside the email. Not the intention of the subject line's sole purpose. The whole reason for it being is for it to get your email opened. That's it. So we need to focus on that. In your subject line, you don't want to give up too much information. A bad subject line would look like, hey, Lisa, here's the information on the $8,000 tax credit plan. That's way too much info. How about, here's the insider information that you need today? Which of those two is more likely to get opened? Well, if I tell, say, Lisa, here's the information on the $8,000 tax credit plan, Lisa already knows that my email is about an $8,000 tax credit plan. She already knows what's inside. There's no reason for her to open it up anymore. Here's the insider information that you need today. Oh crap, what insider information do I need? I need to open this up and find out what insider information do I need today. See the difference in the two? With purpose. And notice I've got some urgency here, and we're going to go into that a little bit deeper in just a few minutes, and at the end we'll really go deep into subject lines. But there is a difference in subject line, and the semantics will create an open, or it will discourage someone from opening. Make sure you're paying attention to it. I like to write what we call a blind subject line. Here's some insider information that will help you out, that will really help out. I didn't put Lisa's name in there. Here's an example of a not blind. Here's the information about the $8,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. That's way more information. Again, no reason now for Lisa to have to open up my emails. Already knows what the information is. A great resource for subject line is a website, and it's a tough one, guys. You may need to pause and write this one down, subjectline.com. So a good resource for subject lines, imagine that, is subjectline.com. What you do on subject line, and I'll demo this in just a little bit here, is you go to the site and you plug in your subject line in a line, and you click the submit button, and it gives you a number, a point rating. Now subjectline.com touts that they've analyzed over 2 billion emails over X number amount of time, and there are certain indicators and keys to getting your emails open. And what they actually do is each specific component of your email has a number rating. It's like an algorithm. And it gives you a number rating or a percentage of, out of 1 through 100, here's how your subject line ranks. Typically, anything from 90 below is not good. From 90 above is really good. And you can play and tweak and mimic and match and search again or submit again and find out until you get a good subject line. I use it quite often when I'm writing an email that I need for the subject line to pull for me. I use subject line for it, quite frankly. And I'll show you that in just a little bit. So now that you've gone through, you've got a killer subject line, you've gotten them to open up your email, how do you keep them interested? How do you get them to the call to the action steps, so to speak. So one of the ways that you do that is your email body. You want to speak to the reader like they're your friend, like they're a buddy of yours, like a long-lost pal. You know, you guys have seen, you know me, and have seen a lot of emails come from me. The invitations for today's class came directly from me. I speak to you as if we're old friends. I don't use formal speak. I'm a old Florida redneck, and I tend to use my old Florida redneck speak in my emails because that's who you're going to meet if we ever meet, and I want you to feel as if I consider you a friend right up front. So make sure you speak to your reader like they're a buddy. Don't yell at your friends. This is a big no-no that I see all the time in emails. I see invitations to certain things from a lot of the members and folks like you. I see this all the time. Hey, Paul, it's time to refi now. I can get the best rate. Don't use caps and a bunch of exclamation points. It makes me feel like you're yelling at me. And again, sales happen, and that's what we're trying to do. Getting someone to take your action step is a sale. Happen based on how you make someone feel, not based on what you said. Okay? So you don't want to give them that feeling of yelling. Don't yell at people. Just don't do it. Don't use a bunch of big, bold, and, you may yell one word, but don't do a whole sentence like that. Some big mistakes people make in the email body. The first big mistake is don't talk about what's going on in your own personal life in an email that you have an action step. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't talk about how many hours a week you're working. Hey, just got finished with my 70-hour work week and I'm going into the weekend. And remember, if you're working, I'm working. My phone is always available. No. You can say that in a much better way. Hey, wanted to let you know that if you're working, I'm working. I'm always here and available for you. Thanks so much for all your referrals. They're always appreciated. And don't forget, any friends, family, co-workers, anybody you know looking to buy, sell, or refinance, I'm your mortgage guy. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. That's the difference there. Don't talk about all the vacations you're taking, and certainly don't tell them you don't need to brag about the brand new car you just bought. As happy and excited as you are, save that for Facebook. Make your body easy to read. And what I mean by that is what you're looking to do is make it more eye appealing. Easy to read is eye appeal has a lot to do with that. What most people are going to do when they open up your email is they're going to scan through the message itself, not the words, but they're just going to kind of eyeball the whole message and make a determination based on how it looks as to whether or not they're going to read it. If it's like 15, if it looks like it's 500 words or a big old essay written out, big, long, giant paragraph, I'm not reading it. I'm not going to, oh my God, that's going to take forever to read this. Now I'm reading a book. Dadgummit, I put the magazine down when I left the doctor's office. So don't make your messages one big giant paragraph. Do it in a bunch of smaller paragraphs, and you also want to make sure that it doesn't run on to, with emails like this line at the top here is far too long to be a sentence in an email. You need to chop that up and make it small, make it smaller. What I typically do is 50 to 60 character lines of text and then jump down to the next line. 50, 60 character lines of text, then jump down to the next line. And I always use a bold font. So if depending on the email provider that I'm using, if it's something like MailChimp, Constant Contact, or Aweber, I'll use the internal WYSIWYG, and I'll typically use the Montserrat font, and I will typically go with 12 or 14 on the font size. If it's something like Gmail, I will simply bold the whole thing, and then I'll just, with making it a larger or smaller font size, I'll go one up from what the default is, just to make it slightly larger, not overly large, but slightly larger than what the normal default Gmail font is. That's eye appeal. That's going to catch their eye. My sentences, 50 to 60 characters, they're not long run out, and it's short little paragraphs. Each little snippet is its own paragraph. Somebody is more willing to read 5 little short paragraphs than one paragraph that is all of those things all combined into one thing. It's just the way our eyes make us want to do stuff. The key is the action step. What is the action step? What is the exact action I want the reader to do? Is it to watch my video? Is it to call me, email me? Is it to forward this to a friend? Is this to, call me up about a refi? Whatever it is, that's your action step. And you got to make sure that your action step is clear. Remember that is the goal of the actual email, is your action step, and you absolutely must make the action step easy to follow. Don't give them a set of rules like, if you'd like to take advantage, email me to this email address, and it's not the reply email address. It's some other email address besides the reply. Email me at this email address and tell me your company name, how many years in business you've been in, and what your dog's favorite toy is. Don't make it hard. Make it really easy for them to follow your action step. Make sure you do a PS. The PS is the most read part of the email, other than the subject line, of course. They have to read the subject line to get into it. But inside the body of the email, the PS is the most read part of the email. The single most read part of the email. It increases your results. It makes your message more interesting, and it comes across as more personal when you've got that little PS in there. So one example of a PS, this I will tell you, when I do this, when sending out video, this will increase the number of views that you get tenfold. If the video above, PS, if the video above does not play, please copy and paste the link below in your browser to view. So even when I'm sending out my video in an email, I'm adding that in the PS, and that's increasing the number of people who actually do that step. Another PS example would be, PS, I forgot to ask, are your buyers getting the mortgage credit certificate that can save them big time? There's another PS, kind of another little call. It's almost like an action step, but I'm simply giving them a little wet your whistle, so to speak, on the mortgage credit certificate and prompting a question within them. Are my clients getting that? Well, let me find out what that is. Most common email mistakes are the overuse of personalization. The overuse of personalization. I don't know if you've ever gotten one of these emails, but one that says, Dear Paul, Hi, Paul. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to read this email. Paul, we are so excited to be able to offer you this great new product at so-and-so price. It is such an amazing thing. Don't forget to take full advantage of this offer, Paul. We won't be able to hold it out for long. Thanks again for taking the time to read it. And, Paul, we certainly look forward to hearing from you. That's over-personalization. Don't do that. Don't do that. It feels like... It feels like sales copy, and nobody is going to buy based on feeling like sales. It doesn't feel good. Don't make your email too formal. That's another common mistake. Again, you want to speak in your own language. Just like if we bumped into each other and I asked you a question and you were answering a question. Just like if I walked into your office door and you were going to just have a conversation with me about the potential of the brand new mortgage credit certificate. Don't make your email about too many things. Don't do an email that is, hey, check out this short video, and oh, by the way, are your people getting the mortgage credit certificate? It's a great new deal, and oh, by the way, there's also the $8,000 tax credit that the first-time home buyers can qualify for. If you got a question about any of those, call me above. I don't know what the heck to have a question about. That's too much stuff. Just don't make it about too many things. Have a very specific goal and a specific purpose in each and every email correspondence that you write. Not giving people a specific action step. That is the biggest mistake I think most of you guys make, is not telling them what you want them to do. You've got them to read whatever it is. Check out your video. You've gotten them to read a little bit of information about the mortgage credit certificate. Now tell them what it is they need to do to take advantage of it. Everybody tends to forget that piece. You've got to have an action step to get them to respond. And one of the common mistakes is talking too much about yourself. You know, I should not be a big part of your email. Okay? So those are the common mistakes. So now you know how to structure and put together a killer email. Let's go ahead and send that baby out. So what you're going to do first, let me ask this as a question. Is there anybody on this call currently with me right now that does not have Jing? Anybody? Got one of my Leader 1 folks that does not have Jing. Okay, so what you're going to do, and I'll show you this specifically in just a couple of minutes. You're going to go and you're going to download this program. Don't do it yet. Wait until come on back to the screen. Perfect. Yep, I appreciate it. We're going to go to Jing Project. We'll walk through this together so you know exactly how to do it and exactly what to get. But you're going to get jingproject.com, and that's going to add this thing down here called Jing. See this little ball right here? That is Jing, and I'll show you how to use it shortly here. It's a free program, nothing to download. It's just a free download. You're going to make a Jing image of your video that you made yesterday, and you're going to insert that into an email and hyperlink that inserted image of your video. I hear people say it all the time, well, I just want to send my video in an email. There is still no email system available today, not even BombBomb, that allows you to send a video in an email. If you get a video in an email, it is typically an image with a link to a page outside of the email to allow that video to play. That's how video and email works. You send a link to a video outside of the email to play on an internet browser. It's why YouTube is such an amazing gift for what we're doing. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that. So as I said, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to go to jingproject.com, jingproject.com, and this is the screen it's going to pull you up to. Yes, I know that it redirected you to techsmith.com/Jing, but jingproject.com will take you to the right place every time, and you should see a big blue download button. When you download Jing, it's going to add this to your computer. Now, once it finishes its download, it does require that you set up a free, 100% free screencast account. What that's for is for when you get into sharing images and using Jing to share images instead of save them. That'll be another class altogether, but it does require that you go ahead and set up that screencast account. Again, 100% free, nothing for you to buy. It's a free download. The way that it works is this. So what I like to do is, first and foremost, I like to get into my video manager, and I like to get my video up and ready when I'm ready to do it. Now, one of the things that I learned is this is pretty cool. I can Jing this entire image here, but what I like to have is a big old play button. Notice there's no play button except down here in the bar. Well, I learned a little trick recently that if I come into my video manager and I go to the edit screen, the preview of my video on the edit screen has a big red play button right in the middle. Now it changes to black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Jing. This is how you use Jing. I'm going to click the capture button, and notice it added these, I call them crosshairs on my screen. I've got these two intersecting yellow lines. Well, I can move those yellow lines to a beginning anywhere I like, and I'm left-click my mouse and I'm dragging that to the frame size that I want. And there's my big play button right there in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and release my mouse there, and now it's got this whole image captured, so I simply capture image. So now, as you can see, I have captured that little frame with my Jing. And I have three options. I can share it. That's the screencast I was talking about before. I can save it, or I can copy it. So for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm going to save that into my image locker. As you can see, I tested this. I saved it a little bit ago. So I just give it a name. Video image 2 is what we'll call it. And save. So now I've saved that, and it tells me that my capture has been saved. That's how you use Jing, very simply, very easily. If you have further questions about how to use Jing, shoot me an email. Let me see if I can't do this real quick. Put my email up here. Shoot me an email to Paul B, if I could spell my name correctly. Paul B at mortgagemastermindgroup.com if you need some more instruction on how to use that Jing. I'll be happy to work with you on that. Just shoot me an email. Let me know you need a little bit more information on how to use the Jing. Okay? So I've got my video image captured, saved. It's ready to go. Next thing is to start creating my email. So I'm going to go ahead and compose an email here. I'm going to compose an email, and I'll just send it to myself for now, just to show you how this works. Subject line is, well, let's play with that. I told you guys I would play with that. So I'm trying to get you to open up my email. So let's play with subject lines. Subject line would be, what's going on in Tampa Bay. Remember, that's what my video was about. I did a community events type video, so I'm going to do what's going on in Tampa Bay. So if I submit that, I get a 95 out of 100. Good job. Your subject line is close to meeting all industry standards. Here is why. Does not contain a sense of urgency. I got 5 points off. So what if... Yeah, it's going to make me sign up. Now, you can sign up. I haven't signed up on the free download on this computer that I'm on since doing it, but you can sign up on that. What if I did this, though? I'm going to open up an incognito window that doesn't have me cooking, and I'm going to go to subjectline.com, and I'm going to say, what's going on in Tampa Bay today? There's my sense of urgency. So let's see how we score. Boom, 100% right there, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, contains the word today. I got a bonus 3 points. That's not bad right there, guys. That's a good subject line. So let's go ahead and copy this subject line. And that's going to be the one we're going to use. So we'll come over here to our email, and our subject line is what's going on in Tampa Bay today. And so now I'm just going to fill out my email. Again, you don't want to, it doesn't have to be overly personalized. I can say something like, hey there. It's going to be another great weekend in the Tampa Bay area. Do you know what you will be doing? If not, here are a couple of really great ideas. Watch the short video below for what's going on in Tampa Bay. Right? So now if you look at my emails, it doesn't look very eye-appealing. It just kind of runs on. So I'm going to clean this up first. Remember, I like to do 50 to 60 characters per line. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here right about weekend. Actually, let's go take it all the way down to N, and I'm going to shorten that up. And now I've got the same point for each piece of my email. It's going to be another great weekend in Tampa Bay area. Do you know what you will be doing? If not, here are a couple of really great ideas. Watch the short video below for what's going on in Tampa Bay. And now I want to put my video. Remember, I just took that Jing image, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to insert my picture directly into the email. So there's my video image with my play button and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And it inserts it into, come on Google, you can catch up right there. It inserts it in there. So now if I click on it, I can best fit original size, or I can even go small, or I can drag these corners to make it the size I want. And you do want to do that. You don't want it to be overly large in the email. You want it to be clear as to what it is. Now that I've got my video image in there, I'm going to make it clickable so when people hover over, they can watch that video from the play button. So I come over to my video. There's the video URL right there, so we'll copy that. And I've got the video highlighted, so I just drug the mouse over the video like I highlighted it, like I'm gonna delete it or something. And then I select the hyperlink option. I paste in my video's URL address. I click on OK. There, it's got it hyperlinked. Now, if I want to test that, I can click on the link and see that it takes me to the correct video. Perfect. So I'll close that. And then again, I'm going to finish up my email. Your friend in the community. Oops, I'm yelling at people. Did you notice that? So I'm going to caps lock off. Your friend in the community. Put my signature, and then P.S. If the above link does not work, please, if the above video does not play, please copy and paste the link below into your browser to view. And then now I just need to include the URL address of the video there as well. And now that baby is ready to send. So when I send that, the recipient receives this. They've got a great, let me mark it as unread. They've got a great subject line, what's going on in Tampa Bay today? Let me find out. When they come in there, hi there. It's going to be another great weekend in the Tampa Bay area. They're going to scan it. Now, most people, because I've got the image of the video in here, most of the people that are going to view this email, again, people view it based on or choose to read based on their initial scan of the video. 99% of people aren't going to read my message above here because the image is in there. Most people will scan it, see a play button, and go immediately to watch the video without information. And my video simply plays. It's very easy to be consistent with getting your video email message out. Okay? So a couple of key things for those of you that didn't have it. There's jingproject.com. That's going to take you to TechSmith, and you're going to get the free download. And then the other thing I wanted you guys to see today is the subjectline.com to create killer subject lines that get the result, that get opened. And that is it. Voila. Voila, guys. It's that simple to get your video emails out. Are there any questions from you folks about anything we covered today, anything I talked about, anything you need clarification on? More Jing help, but Jing is a really cool thing. So it sits wherever you want. I have mine on the bottom there. See, now I've got it up top here. But it just kind of sits in the background of your computer waiting for you to be ready to use it. And let's say I want a picture of this thing right here. I can Jing anything I want to Jing. I just click the little button, and now I can drag it across. I can make images. You know, a lot of the things like images on today's PowerPoint, for instance, you know, when you see something like this, how did I get this image today for today's PowerPoint? Well, what I did was I went to Google and I typed in friends, and then I said I want images of friends, and I saw it right off the bat, and I said, yeah, that's a good one right there. I like this one. So I clicked on it, and I came over here and I made a Jing of it, and that's it. I made myself a little Jing. That's it. Well, guys, girls, I appreciate you taking a little bit of time for me today. It doesn't look like there are any questions. Keep your eyes open for email for tomorrow's class. We're going to be doing a top producer interview. We're going to have Mr. Chad Bates on with us tomorrow going over, he's got he's going to go over his strategies for creating a recession-proof mortgage business. He's going to talk about multiple legs, multiple avenues, multiple ways to generate multiple revenue streams. Absolutely appreciate that. And Jeff, I'm pretty sure I sent him a invitation. Didn't see him registered on today's, but yeah, he is more than welcome to join us on our classes. That's why, you know, I'm sending you guys the invitation.